Hi there, students. A glass ceiling. Okay, this is a great idiom. Well, firstly, a glass ceiling could just be a roof made of glass. But we also use it as an idiom to mean a point at which you can't progress any further usually in your position at work or in an organization. This is particularly applicable. Glass ceilings are particularly applicable to women and members of minority. So it's like an unofficial barrier against advancement. So, I don't know, Margaret Thatcher was the first woman to break the glass ceiling of becoming British Prime Minister. I think the phrase or the American idea that anybody can become president, that I think there's a glass ceiling to becoming president. Yeah, you need to be from a certain social class. You need to belong to a certain social group. And I think very often, certainly in the UK, glass ceilings are a case of class and which class you belong to, more than your gender or what race you come from. Okay, so a glass ceiling, an unacknowledged discriminatory barrier that prevents women and minorities from rising to positions of power or responsibility, very often in companies and corporations. Yeah. So the glass ceiling in the field of science is very clear. Most senior scientists are men, and there is clearly a glass ceiling that prevents women from taking these positions. Okay, so it's like an unseen barrier. You can rise until you get to the glass ceiling, but you can't see it until you actually get there. It's like an uncodified barrier to further progression in your job for a member of a specific demographic group. Yeah, you can't see through it. It's like a cap or a social thing that stops you. Yeah. Okay, it's a metaphor to represent an invisible barrier that prevents certain groups from rising beyond a certain level within a hierarchy. It makes me think about the gender pay gap as well. Clearly, there is a glass ceiling to obtaining the highest salaries for women. It's not fair, but it does exist. So, how formal is this word glass ceiling? I think I'd give it a 6 in formality. I think you could use it just about anywhere. It sounds maybe a little bit formal in an informal conversation, but it means what it says. And then as to origin, this was a phrase first coined by feminists to talk about barriers to the careers of high achieving women. And ceiling, well, it comes from the word ciel in French, the sky. So yeah, there's a ceiling of glass that stops you. It stops you rising any more than you thought. Although I think many glass ceilings are nowadays slowly and steadily being broken down. But for example, there still hasn't been a woman who has been the President of the United States. Yeah. So glass ceilings, they're getting thinner, but I'm certain they still exist. You also actually have a parallel word, the bamboo ceiling, which refers to the problems that Asian Americans have in advancing with their career. Yeah, maybe there are glass ceilings for refugees or asylum seekers as well. Okay, so it's a barrier that stops people from getting to the top of a hierarchy, but it's not an official one. It's an unofficial one. An unofficial one. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Glass ceiling.